Wash, rinse, repeat. Tampa Bay Lightning lose again. They're now 1-1 on the season, and they were doomed by a lot of the same mistakes that haunted them the first three games. We'll talk about it on today's Locked on Lightning.
You're Locked on Lightning, your daily podcast on the Tampa Bay Lightning, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for making Locked on Lightning your first listen of the day. Every single day, we are your free daily Tampa Bay Lightning podcast, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. As always, we want to begin by giving a shout out to our everydayers, those of you who tune into every single show, every single day. We love you. We appreciate the support you give us week in, week out. I'm Nick Morgan, and I'm joined by the Avenged Sevenfold to my bullet for my Valentine, Greg Stephen. Greg, welcome, buddy.
Good morning. Good morning. Happy hump day. Not a good game last night. I mean, it wasn't a terrible game, but look, in my eyes, winnable. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, 3-2 overtime loss to the Washington Capitals. There was a couple of things we talked about earlier this week that I think we did see improvement on, but a couple of problems that still plagued the Lightning in this one. We're going to get into it in just 1 second. First, though, I want to mention today's episode brought to you by FanDuel. Download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com and win $300 in bonus bets if your first $5 bet wins. All right, Greg, I want to take you on a little bit of a journey today.
Okay.
I want you to close your eyes and picture a world in which the final Harry Potter movie is in theaters. I also want you to picture the Billboard Top 100, and I want you to see Adele's Rolling in the Deep in Party Rock Anthem, number one on the list. I want you to see Kim Kardashian's very, very short marriage to NBA legend Chris Humphries. And I want you to see Charlie Sheen talking about Tiger Blood and winning all over the TV. That was October 2011. That was the last time the Tampa Bay Lightning lost 3 of their first 4 games in the season. It's been that long since the Lightning have come out of the gate this slow. This doesn't happen, folks. What we're seeing here is rare for this team.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty insane.
Are we hitting the panic button now, or?
Okay. We've never been through this before. I think in the last 15 or so years, I think it's easy to be like, what the hell is going on? But I think we have to remind ourselves it's only 4 games into the season.
Yes.
That being said,
Absolutely.
Some big problems.
Yeah.
I would like them to get better sooner rather than later. And I think maybe, Greg, that's what's gnawing at me a bit. This is the 4th game recap we've done. And there's some things we're going to talk about that have been the exact same things we've talked about in the first 3 recaps.
Mm-hmm.
That to me is not the panic button, like not hitting the panic button over it, but that's more of the what is going on button.
Yeah. I'm not with you. I'm with you on not panicking, but also at the same time, like you said, if we're going to repeat ourselves 100 times, they have to know what's wrong, right? Like,
yeah,
I don't know. I have a few areas of concern. I know you do too. So let's just get right in there.
Yeah, let's start with a recap in case you weren't able to watch the game last night. Same thing as the first few games. Tampa Bay Lightning jump on the board early. First period, Jake Gensel with a goal off a Anthony Cirelli faceoff win. A great feed from Victor Hedman on this play. We're actually going to talk about this particular goal in another segment coming up here in a second, and I'll tell you why. A weird goal to even it for Washington. Alexei Proitras puts it in what was basically an empty net. Connor McMichael was going around the net, caught Vasilevsky looking the wrong way. No even attempt to make a save on that one. Third period comes. Braden Point on the power play tips in a Victor Hedman shot from the point. Looks like the Lightning are rolling, but just a couple minutes later, Tom Wilson, a power play goal of his own, ties it up. We go to overtime. Lightning never touched the puck in overtime. Jacob Chikrin gets the game-winning goal on, let's just say what it is, Greg, a blown play. Blown defense.
Yeah, just awful defensive coverage.
Yeah. What again? Right in front of the net. Vasilevsky absolutely zero chance to stop that shot. 3-2 in overtime. Lightning lose to the Washington Capitals. Greg, as we do always, start with a plus and a minus from this game.
My plus, it's going to be a power play goal.
Okay.
And I don't think Cooch has looked great so far this season. And seeing him connect with Hedman and Point for a power play goal, I thought was encouraging because we know the power play was a problem last season. They just got shut down eventually and became useless pretty much.
Yeah.
So we want to see them converting on those. So that was good. They were 50% on the power play. My minus, it's got to be just defense. In my eyes, all three of these goals are avoidable with perfect defense. And I guess you could say that about every goal. But I just think at least two of these, if you're taking your guy and tying up his stick, the puck does not enter your net. And it's really that simple. And we'll get into that, but let's hear your plus minus first.
Yeah, I'm with you on a lot of stuff there. For me, my plus, this comes with a caveat because I know the first goal didn't look great, but my plus is that Andrei Vasilevsky, I think, had a pretty good game overall. I think he was moving. His movement was the best that I've seen so far from him at any point this season. I think he made a couple of really good saves, especially down the stretch. I think he made a really, really good save at the beginning of overtime. Just couldn't get there in the second one, but again, that wasn't his fault. I know Vasilevsky's winless, and I know the first two games weren't great. And I know his stats don't look great now, but I'm actually encouraged by the way he played in yesterday's game a little bit. I think we did see some good stuff from Vazzy there. And it makes me a little bit more confident that maybe this is just a slow start for him and not a sign of things to come. My minuses, Greg, it is a plus that we talked about yesterday, and that's Max Crozier going down in the first period with an injury. It sucks so much because he was playing such good hockey, man. Like he really was. And that injury that he had in the first period, I'm not exactly sure what happened. If it was like a non-contact injury and his leg just went out, or if it was just like an awkward play and he fell and that's how he got hurt. But John Cooper said after the game doesn't expect him to play Friday. So it sounds like there's potential for him to miss a little bit of time, did not come back in the game last night. It sucks, man, because I felt like Crozier was really starting to fit in to this system well. I loved his start to the season. Again, 3 points in 3 games. Yeah, it sucks if he misses time.
Yeah, look, he's my favorite guy on the team right now, and having him go down is not what I want to see for sure. I am a little bit encouraged because they say doubtful for Friday. Usually it's like he's ruled out for a few weeks if it's something immediately serious. So I don't think he'll be out terribly long, but maybe the rest of the road trip is safe to assume.
Yeah. John Cooper said his direct quote was, "Do I think he's going to play in the next game? No, I don't." So maybe that's officially doubtful. Maybe that's just don't count on Max Crozier.
Yeah, I'd call that out.
Yeah, that's you and I were kind of on the same page there.
Mm-hmm.
Let's dive into a little bit more from this game. As we mentioned, the Lightning have not started 1-3, technically 1-2-1, but it was 1-2-1 in October 2011, so it counts. The Lightning have not got off to a slow start this bad in 15 years. What is going on with the team right now? What are their weaknesses? And one in particular, I think, came into play last night with the opening goal and the game-winning goal for Washington. We're going to talk about that in just 1 second. Today's episode is brought to you by Monarch Money. Most people can't name all their financial accounts or even what they're worth, whether it's 401ks, properties, or investments. When you don't have the full picture, you can end up leaving money on the table. That's why there's Monarch Money. It's an all-in-one personal finance tool that brings your entire financial life together in one clean, easy-to-use interface, either on your laptop or on your phone. Monarch is built for people with busy lives, so if you put off organizing your finances, Monarch is for you. That's because Monarch does all the heavy lifting. You can link your accounts in minutes and then see clear data visuals, smart categorization of your spending, and finally feel in control of your money without ever having to touch a spreadsheet. So don't let this financial opportunity slip through the cracks. Use code LOCKEDONNHL at monarchmoney.com in your browser for half off your first year. Again, 50% off your first year at monarchmoney.com with code LOCKEDONNHL. Welcome back to Locked On Lightning. Nick Morgan here alongside Greg Stephen. Greg, let's get into, I guess, the slow start for the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're not hitting the panic button.
Nope.
But what do you think are the weaknesses that are contributing to this slow start?
God, I just it's defense for me over everything, and there are some small areas that also need improvement. But if I keep seeing these fundamental mistakes they make, it's puzzling to me. And I think the biggest example of this in this game we saw last night was the overtime goal. And look, I know it's 3-on-3. I know it's fast. I know it's going. It's tough to get the puck back from the other team when they do have it in overtime in the NHL. When you learn hockey as a child, they teach you do not watch the puck when you play defense. You don't look at the puck when you play defense. You look at your guy, right? You look at for his stick, you look for his body, you lift his stick, and you move his body. That's how you play defense. And on that goal, Cirelli is puck watching. There's just no way around it. All he's doing is staring at the puck, and his guy is backdoor, wide open, stick free, body not being moved, nothing to stop him, right? And it's just painful to watch because it's such a basic skill that is taught to people when they play hockey from a young age to do not watch the puck. Take your guy out of the play. And I just think this goal is avoidable, like entirely, if you're just playing that way. And I think a couple of these are actually kind of that way. The one that you referred to earlier, where Vasi kind of doesn't even really make an attempt at a save because he's looking, to the left, and they pass same side, right side, and they score. Hedman just got to tie that guy up. It's really that simple. And to have these two critical goals go in like that, I think are very disheartening because, these are pro players. They shouldn't be puck watching. There shouldn't be laziness to take your guy out of the play. There really shouldn't be at all, and especially when you've had this weak start that we've talked about for 4 episodes. You'd think that your mind is thinking, we need to lock these guys down. Mm-hmm. Where's the effort? Like, do you care? And I think it's just very concerning. For me, it's just defense overall.
Yeah, I know that when we started this show a couple months ago, that was the number one thing you said it was a key problem from last year, was the defensive breakdowns and lapses. And I thought John Cooper said it best when I think the Lightning played well enough for 59. He didn't say this. I'm adding this part in, but he thought the Lightning played well most of the game. I'm saying the Lightning played really well, I think, for 59 minutes in this game. Mm-hmm. I think they were right there with Washington. I think they, tit for tat were right there with them, counterpunch, all that. Slowed down a bit in the third period again, but we'll get to that. And it was just in that 1 minute window, I think there were a couple of mistakes that doomed them. I think there was just a big miscommunication on that first goal. I think Cirelli flat out, got beat on the overtime goal. I mean, it's these are mistakes that you can't make in the NHL that good teams don't make. And it's mistakes that we're not used to seeing the Lightning make. Because that's always kind of been their trading card, is they're so positionally sound. And that's what made them such a dangerous team.
Yeah.
And, that's not the first time this year that we've seen Victor Hedman, maybe caught out a little bit. Or that we've seen somebody completely get beat. To me, yeah, I'm with you. I think that is a big concern for me. And now you have Max Crozier go down, who I think was doing really well at that portion of the game. And you were seeing him rewarded with some more ice time.
Yeah.
Now I think you kind of have to reshuffle things a little bit, because you know what? Quite frankly, Greg, I don't think you can. Well, yeah, you can't play Darren Radish the way you were using him the first two games. JJ Moser's back, of course, so I don't think he's going to be playing first line, but you took him out of the lineup for a reason. He had 3 points in 2 games.
Yeah.
And he's on the bench, which tells you exactly what you need to know about what they think of him defensively, right?
Yeah. I agree.
Yeah. To me, a big thing in this game, Greg, is faceoffs. After last night, the Tampa Bay Lightning 31st in the NHL in faceoff percentage after their first 4 games. 41%. That's all they've been able to win. And here's the thing. We have had – this has kind of been a debate in some advanced stats analytics community in the NHL about whether faceoffs is kind of an overrated stat. A lot of people, it's like, well, good teams go get the puck, good teams retrieve the puck. It doesn't necessarily matter who wins the faceoff in a 60-minute game, who wins one faceoff. I'm going to show you 2 plays that I think counteract that. One is the first goal the Lightning scored last night. It was a clean faceoff win by Anthony Cirelli.
Yep.
He drops it back to Ryan McDonough. This was all in the offensive zone. And Ryan McDonough, before Washington's even able to react, he's able to get that puck down to Jake Gensel for a really good goal.
Yeah.
And then we flash forward to the last faceoff of the game, which was the one in overtime.
Mm-hmm.
Anthony Cirelli loses that faceoff. It was, I think, a minute 15 was when the Capitals scored. The Lightning never touched the puck.
Yeah.
You lose that faceoff in overtime, you're having a hard time getting the puck.
The overtime faceoff is crucial.
Yeah. Those 2 plays, I think, underscore why faceoffs are underrated and why I do think this is a problem for the Lightning.
It is a problem. And faceoffs are important in a lot of situations, right? I mean, it is true they don't make or break everything. I don't think you need to be the top faceoff team in the league to be good, but yeah, there are situations you're in the offensive zone. You need the puck. You're on the power play. You need the puck. You're in overtime. You need the puck. And you let them take the puck from you, you're going to go chase it from your own end, or you're going to chase them around in overtime. It does matter. You're right. And I don't know how they fix it other than train someone or they're not going to trade for a guy for the faceoffs right now. I don't know. It's kind of alarming.
Yeah. Is Luke Glendening still playing anywhere?
He's in the Devils.
Yeah, I think he just signed. Yeah, that was the best part of his game last year, was those faceoffs. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what you do to fix that other than just put all of your centers together and just have them practice faceoffs for 15 minutes during a practice. But
if none of them are good.
Yeah, true, but I mean, you can get better. But hey, we talked about in the Bruins win the other day, those 2 key faceoff wins late helped seal the deal because Cirelli was able to clear it. and the Lightning were able to like get possession early in the penalty kill and kill some time off. It's an important part of the game, folks, and I'm tired of trying to act like faceoffs aren't. And I do think that's an area the Lightning need to get better at.
Yeah, I'm with you 100%.
Greg, I want to ask you about your take on the penalties in this game, because we were talking before the show and kind of had different opinions about how the Lightning did in terms of staying out of the box. Let's get into that in just 1 second. Today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. The NFL season is here, and FanDuel has an offer you don't want to miss. Right now, new customers can bet just $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if you win. That's right. Pick a bet, put down $5, and if it hits, you'll unlock $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it gives me so many different ways to play. I can build parlays, I can do player props, or my favorite thing to do, follow the live lines during games with some live in-game bets. It makes watching football even more exciting when you've got a little something riding on the action. Whether you're a casual fan or just want to check up on the guys on your fantasy team, FanDuel makes the game day experience so much better. So, what are you waiting for? Visit FanDuel.com to download the FanDuel app today and get started. Again, FanDuel.com to download the app and place your first $5 bet. Welcome back to Locked On Lightning. Nick Morgan here with Greg Steven. Greg, I want to ask you about your take on the penalties in this game. 3 power plays for the Caps. We kind of had different takes on the state of the penalties in this game.
Can you hear the sirens through my mic?
I cannot.
Okay, perfect. Just making sure.
Did Washington score again?
Hopefully not.
Yeah.
Okay. In this game specifically, I didn't think the penalties were as bad as they have been. That being said, you still gave the Caps 3 power plays, and one of those was the game-tying goal. And you did it right after you scored your own power play goal. So,
okay.
Not wonderful. I mean, I'd like to see them have a game where they don't give more than 3 power plays to a team. I don't think they've done that yet, which is why you're losing these games. Let's be honest. Cooch took a hooking. Lilleberg took a tripping and a cross-checking. You got Curtis Douglas roughing, which you expect, I guess. And you got a Geeky roughing. I don't know. Again, I don't think they were as bad as normal. But look, Lilleberg's in the box for 4 minutes. And I know you debate the tripping, I think the call was against him, was maybe a little questionable. He still took another 2 minutes after that.
Yeah. Was that after? That was after that, yeah.
It was. He took a cross-check after that. Now, I want to go to some stats now because they're important. How many minutes do you think the top guy in the Lightning has total in the box right now?
How many minutes total?
Mm-hmm.
Does this include fights?
It does.
I'm going to go 21.
Okay, that's really high. No.
Okay.
The top is 13 for one player. And do you know who that player is?
I'm going to guess that's I'm going to guess that's our boy Curtis.
It's our boy Emil Lilleberg.
Oh.
And as I've been preaching for about a year now, when is he going to get healthy scratched for taking 1 trillion penalty minutes in a game?
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah.
Curtis Douglas has 7 minutes in second on the Lightning. Obviously, he's a fighter. He had a fight in the first game, and then he took a rough last night. That's who he is. That's what he does. Lilleberg is here to play defense too, though, and move the puck well and do more than just be that guy. He's not. He's -2. He's got 13 penalty minutes. He doesn't look like he's going to stop taking penalties because he does it every single game as he did last year. When's enough? I love him. I think he's a great player. I think you got to get this out of him though, because if you take a penalty every single game, you're gonna lose most of your games. I'm sorry, it's just one guy should not be taking one penalty per game. It's just unacceptable. There's no way around it.
But here's the thing: you healthy scratch Lilberg. Who else do you have back there that's going to be better defensively? And I know John Cooper wants to send a message, but you just lost Max Crozier.
Yeah.
I don't think you can ask Darren Radish, I don't think you can ask him to play the same game Lilberg plays in the same situation. Do you call Declan Carlisle up? Do you send Phoenix Copley? I mean, because I don't know at this point why the Bolts have 3 goalies on the roster.
Couldn't tell you.
Do you try to call up some more defense and maybe piece some things together? Like how do you send that message without making your team a little bit worse?
Look, I would argue it doesn't make them worse. Because
would you rather have Darren Radish in there than Lilberg?
Next game? Yes.
Well, it sounds like we're going to get Darren Radish anyway, but
right. I mean, that's what's happening. I mean, they're going to keep Lilleberg in too, because like you said, what else is going to happen? I mean, if it's not a healthy scratch, it's a Stern talking to. Just anything?
Yeah.
Is anyone going to do anything? Or are we just going to keep letting this go? Because, like, again, he had 105 penalty minutes last season. Mm-hmm. He's already at 13 in 4 games. Like, he's on a path to be worse in the penalty minute department than he was last year. I didn't even think that was possible.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's so hard for me to watch because the discipline is awful with this team right now. Awful in all regards, not just penalties, defensively. Like the passing looks terrible. The zone entry looks terrible. All the discipline areas are just terrible.
Yeah.
And I don't know who's got to do something, but it's someone, because it's not getting done. It's really just not getting done.
So here's the thing, Greg. The Lightning they don't play again until Friday. They have a doubleheader against Detroit, and then they have one against Columbus.
Yep.
You are the John Cooper. You're John Cooper, and you are the head coach of the Tampa Bay Lightning. Wow. These next 2 days, first off, congratulations.
Thank you.
These next 2 days, what are you doing in practice? What are you doing when you look at this team? Like, what are you saying? Like, how are you fixing this?
It's a good question.
That's why you're the head coach and you make millions of dollars every year to answer that question.
What am I doing? I'm doing just defensive coverage drills, like mostly like fast breaks and like zone entries. Because first of all, the power play zone entry is just laughable. I mean, they got in this past game, but God, they just make weird passes right at the blue line, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But Cooch is just making some blind passes for whatever reason. I don't know what it is. It's like an overconfidence thing, or I don't know what it is, but he's got to simplify his game. I think zone entry is number one. And then on defense, you're practicing these 2-on-2s. You're practicing, when the puck is being cycled in the corner in your zone, tracing your guy, making sure you're tying him up. I think it's just, we got to work on covering our man, and not puck watching is really what it is. And it's not even a drill they should have to do, because they should all, at this stage of hockey in life, you should have that worked out of your game. You should be taking your guy. You shouldn't be watching the puck. It should be already done. But look, I don't know. I think for me, it's faceoffs too. Like you said,
that's the big one.
You're drilling the dot, right? Like, I think you're drilling the dot in both practice. I think you're doing 2 practices here, but maybe I'm wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I don't know. You probably get a day of rest in there because you just back to back. So you probably don't skate one day, but maybe a light skate. I don't know.
Yeah, to me, focus is the biggest thing right now. And I almost want to say, like, when you start 1-2 and 1-2-1 and you're a little bit tight, that's kind of when you want to instinctually go, okay, let's relax a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's have some loose practices. Let's get out. Let's have fun. Let's have a fun little scrimmage.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got to do the opposite for this. I think you have to do something a little bit more intense, because I think the Lightning right now in a lot of areas are playing a little bit too relaxed, and they're playing a little laissez-faire. And I think maybe you do some good like one-on-one compete drills, like maybe little, fights for pucks in the corners or something like that. Maybe a really competitive scrimmage, full on hitting, full on intensity. I think you have to do something to get that competitiveness and the focus in. And I think maybe you got to find a way to get guys locked in. And that's what I'm doing these next 2 games
Or
is
locked on.
Hang on. Okay.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, you said locked in. I said, or locked on.
Oh, there you go. I paused for a pun. We're wrapping up this show soon. Who cares? You got to find a way to get this team focused and locked in a little bit. And you know what? All things considered, this Washington game, I think, was a lot better across the 60 minutes than the first 2 losses.
For sure.
But you still need to find a way to eliminate those, like we said, those 1 minute where all the mistakes happen.
Yes. And let's also not forget, we did pick up a point. So
yeah,
could certainly be worse. It was on a back-to-back. The Caps are a good team. So I think I actually said before the road trip started, this is the only game I expect, or not expect. This is the only team that I would be okay with losing to on this road trip. I would like them to win these next 2. I think on paper they shouldn't lose these next 2. Sure. So we'll see. I am curious if they put is it Copley or Copley?
Phoenix Copley.
I'm curious to see if they toss him in net for one of these back-to-backs instead of JoJo, but we'll see. I don't know why they would, to be honest. JoJo picked up a W, and there's no reason to. But I mean, I don't know why else he's on the roster. We'll see.
I don't know either, to be honest.
Because
what do you do? Like, you want Vazzy? Are you going to not play Vazzy?
Right. I don't. Yeah.
They must think he's really well injured. His first game.
They must think he's maybe injured or something. Like, there's got to be a reason, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. I guess.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. I don't know why he's here. I would rather have another defenseman on the ice or something. There's a whole other thing about the forward core too, and why isn't Jack Finley playing? And you know what? We only have 30 minutes to do these, and there's a lot to dive into. That's why we have 5 shows a week, everybody. A lot to get into tomorrow. We should know more about Max Crozier's injury. How do you clean up some of the defense? All that coming up later this week on Locked on Lightning. That's going to do it for us on today's show. Thanks for making us your first listen of the day. Back with a new episode tomorrow. We'll see you then.